Hello everyone, welcome to GR IAS Academy Daily Prelims News Analysis. My name is Harish Amiti and I am presenting you here Hindu Prelims News articles dated 17th October 2023. So these are our news articles today, so let us begin. So first news article is regarding electoral bonds. So a Supreme Court bench has referred the issue of electoral bonds to the Constitution bench. So first let us start with what is a Constitution bench. So what is a Constitution bench? So there are two types of bench in Supreme Court. One is ordinary bench and another one is Constitution bench. So what is ordinary bench and what is Constitution bench? To deal with the ordinary matters, all the normal cases of the Supreme Court, ordinary benches are formed and these can be formed in numbers 1, 2, 3. That means one judge can sit in it, two judges can sit in it, three judges can sit in it in an ordinary case. But when Supreme Court feels that some issue like the existing issue, electoral bonds, when an issue is of constitutional importance, I mean something regarding very fundamental issue about the issue, I mean fundamental law about the issue, like whether this electoral bonds is valid or not. Is this in according with the Indian law? Is this in tune with our principles of transparency, accountability, etc.? So is this in line with our fundamental rights? So these are some constitutional issues. When such constitutional issues arise, Supreme Court forms constitutional bench. So that is it. So this is a basic about the constitutional bench. There will be always a minimum number of 5 judges in a constitutional bench. So a constitutional bench will always be in an odd number. So a constitutional bench will comprise 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, etc. Okay. So these are the usual numbers of constitutional bench. Constitutional bench never forms in an even number. So that is regarding the constitutional bench. So next is electoral bonds. So what is this electoral bonds? So this electoral bonds is something introduced in 2017. Hope this is visible. So electoral bonds were a concept introduced in 2017. So basically what is electoral bonds? Simply put, electoral bonds is a tool to donate to the political parties. It is some instrument through which you can donate to the political parties. What is the difference between traditional donation, like directly giving cash to the political parties, and these electoral bonds? These electoral bonds maintains anonymity. That means if you give 10 crores to a particular party A, no one will know except you and the party. Okay, you can even give without the party itself knowing you. So it maintains very high anonymity, and the money in the transaction will always be white. That means it will always be legal because it goes through banks, SBI banks especially. So electoral bonds were introduced to reduce the black money in the Indian electoral system, Indian political system. So electoral bonds have some advantages, like the money is fully white, the money is fully legal, it is fully collected through the financial system, and it protects the identity of a donor. So these are two advantages, but it also has some many negative consequences, especially as the petitioners is saying 95% of the bond. Here this point is saying 95% of the amount donated through electoral bonds gone into a single party. One party in India received the 95% amount from the donors. Who are these donors? Usually they are corporates. So big parties, I don't want to name, but those big bada parties usually donate money to the political parties. Obviously there will be a communication between those two. So it will lead to something called crony capitalism. Crony capitalism. So plus whoever donates to the political party, they will remain anonymous. So public does not have any information. If the richest person in India donates very huge amount to a particular party in return for favor of something, no one donates for free. So there will be a quid pro quo. So when a businessman donates money to a particular political party, public does not know it. So when public knows about this information, okay, this political party will be more responsible to the public. Okay, but when it is maintained as a secret, they can do whatever they want. So it is against the principles of right to information, etc. So that is what the petitioners in this case are arguing. Some people went to court saying that this electoral bond violates some fundamental rights, like Article 14. Not everyone is equal in the system. This system allows some rich people to become closer with the politicians. So it is violation of right to equality. At the same time, right to equality is the Article 14. At the same time, it violates the right to information, which is nothing but Article 19 of the Constitution, freedom of speech. Right to information is an inherent part of freedom of speech under Article 19. So some kind of articles it violates in such way. So that is the arguments of the petitioner. So it went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court did not give any judgment yet. It referred it to the Constitution bench. So that is the basic issue. You can just read plain facts about the bond and how this bond works. Now I am a person who is willing to donate some money to a political party. I will go to the SBI bank, and these are not available throughout the year. There will be some specific intervals, like a first 10 days of every quarter, first 10 days of April, first 10 days of July, first 10 days of October, first 10 days of January. So in specific intervals, bank will open this electoral bonds. Any person can go to the bank, buy bond in these denominations only, not random denominations. So he or she can buy only in these denominations. When he buys, he will get that bond in hand. Then he has to give that bond to the political party he wants to donate the money. That political party will encash the bond in an account, details of which Election Commission of India maintains. So every political party will have a bank account, and those details will be maintained with the Election Commission. So Election Commission keeps tracking the details of this party, and only in these bank accounts these political parties can encash the bond. Okay. So that is how it works. So there is no cash transaction. By maintaining a bank intermediary, the possibility of transacting through black money was eliminated. So as I said, petitioners are saying this electoral bond violates some cases. Now here is a sample PYQ, not PYQ, sample prelims model question. I designed it, it is not PYQ, just answer it. Okay, so electoral bonds can be given to directly deposit to the bank accounts of the political party. No, you cannot directly deposit to the accounts of the political party. You have to give that bond to them. They have to encash it separately. Okay, you have that bank will act as mediatory. No direct transaction between you two, person and the political party. Political parties receive interest on this bonds amount along with this principal from the intermediary bank. No, they won't receive any kind of principal. Whatever the amount you pay for the bond, they will receive the same. That too, they have to encash within the 15 days of buying the bond. If you bought a bond today, 15 days from today, this political party must have to encash it. Otherwise, it will lose its value. So select the correct answer. None of the above. Both are wrong. So next news article is court declines abortion plea, says it can't stop heartbeat of a viable fetus. So to understand this news, first you have to know about this Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act in India. So there is one law in India regulating the abortion. Before 1971, abortion was illegal in India. See the situation in independent India. From 1947 till 1971, abortion was illegal in India. In 1971, an act was brought, Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act, and this act legitimized abortion. So it made abortion a legal way. So this act was amended in 2021. So through 2021, some amendments were made. Now this act allows termination of pregnancy through medical way. I mean through a approval of a doctor. Okay, through recommendation of a doctor. So on opinion of single doctor, you can terminate pregnancy up to 20 weeks. Okay, 20 weeks is roughly 4 to 5 months, and this is applicable to every woman. Every woman has the right of termination of pregnancy up to 20 weeks with one doctor opinion. Okay, but if you want to terminate a pregnancy which is more than 20 weeks, up to 24 weeks. So when it is between 20 to 24 weeks, you need opinion of 2 doctors, not just 1 doctor. You need opinion of 2 doctors to terminate the pregnancy under this act as amended. Then, so this act does not allow termination of pregnancy beyond 24 weeks. This act allows termination of pregnancy up to only 24 weeks. But under exceptional circumstances, if someone wants to abort beyond 24 weeks, they has to get approval through medical board, and medical board does not give any approval without the recommendation from High Court. So this particular woman has first go to the High Court or Supreme Court and get a submit a writ petition and get a order after the recommendation of medical board. So that is the only way beyond 24 weeks. Even between 20 to 24 weeks, not all women are allowed. There are some conditions, 6 to 7 conditions, like a rape survivor or a woman whose marital status has changed. Suddenly her husband died and she became a widower. Her husband gave her a divorce and she became single. So those kind of change in marital status or a rape survivor, only in such kind of exceptional circumstances beyond 20 is allowed. Under 24 weeks, even in exceptional circumstances, only through a court order, High Court or Supreme Court order, you can terminate your pregnancy. So now let's come to our existing case. Now in this case, there is a 27-year-old woman. She has some rare disease, some kind of rare disease and disorder. So she has some rare medical condition, because of which she could not identify her pregnancy sooner. And now meanwhile 26 weeks has passed. Now her baby is 26 weeks old. Okay, she is 26 weeks pregnant. So under this act, beyond 24 weeks, pregnancy is not allowed unless by an order of court. So now she went to Supreme Court. Then Supreme Court recommended opinion of a medical board. This medical board told that this baby has a heartbeat. Okay, no more it is just a zygote or an egg. It has a heartbeat. So in this case, it is proved that the baby is alive. Normally in this case, there will be a big debate of right of woman over her body versus right of unborn child. So it is a big debate. You can just Google it for the purpose of mains. Rights of woman over her body versus right of unborn child. So it is usually going debate across many countries. That is a continuous ongoing debate under applied ethics, GS4 applied ethics. So in this case, the baby clearly has a heartbeat. So it is 100% ascertained that baby is alive. So now it is not just abortion, it becomes a killing. Now it is right of a woman over her body versus a right to life of an unborn child. So now this baby alive. So Supreme Court declined the request of the woman to terminate her pregnancy. Court did not accept termination of pregnancy. So that is the current news. Moving on. There is a small news about dengue, dengue not being epidemic as of yet. There are some dengue cases, but it's still in control. It is a normal news. Article is also not required. It is a very normal news. But I thought you should know basics about the dengue. So what is dengue? Basically, dengue is a fever. Okay, it is caused by a virus. Okay, dengue virus. Dengue is caused by a dengue virus, and it is spread through Aedes aegypti mosquito. So this mosquito, Aedes aegypti. So first of all, it is caused by a virus. It is a viral disease. Name is dengue virus, and it is caused by a mosquito called Aedes aegypti. Okay, not all Aedes aegypti, only female Aedes aegypti, and this Aedes aegypti bites only during the day. Bites only during the day, not night. There is no vaccine or cure for the dengue. So there is no rigid cure for the dengue. We can only manage it. There is no vaccine for the dengue. So it is kind of severe disease. Okay, just you can, if you want to know, you can Google more about the symptoms and how it transmits, etc. It usually does not transmit between person to person. It is only transmitted through the mosquito. If you have to catch dengue, you have to got bitten by the mosquito. A person who has dengue cannot spread it to you. So here is a sample question on dengue. It is caused by female Aedes aegypti. Yes, right. The statements are true. Okay. RT-PCR is a diagnostic method of dengue. Yes, RT-PCR can be a diagnostic method. We all have seen during COVID, what RT-PCR is? Again, its incubation period is 3 to 14 days. So what is incubation period? Incubation period is the moment you catch the infection from the mosquito till the time you show the symptoms, there will be 3 to 14 days in interval. So you do not immediately become disease ridden and you will show symptoms not immediately. So when the mosquito bites you, it takes 3 to 14 days. It varies from person to person. Usually it takes 3 to 14 days to show the symptoms. Okay. So if you don't know what RT-PCR is, just Google it. Okay. It is a testing method. So that is about dengue. Next thing is inflation. So there is a news article regarding the wholesale price index, how these wholesale prices are changing. This particular news is not important because wholesale prices keep changing. They keep changing every month, every 15 days. So this particular news is not important, but you should be able to understand it when such kind of news exist in news, come in news, because UPSC will ask something very basic about the what is this wholesale price index, etc. So basics of inflation is very important for UPSC prelims. So there are mainly two measures through which we can measure inflation. Inflation can be measured in many ways. Two indices are primarily used to measure inflation. One is wholesale price index called WPI, another one is consumer price index called CPI. So WPI versus CPI, wholesale price index, consumer price index. So this WPI, as it is in the name, it measures changes in price at wholesale level. What is wholesale level? So understand there are three levels. One is factory level where production takes place, factory level. Next one is wholesale level. What is wholesale level? This producer does not sell directly. Okay. At the same time, the person who sells will not produce directly. He will also not procure from the factory, because I am a person selling something in Hyderabad. Let's say I am a person selling Coca-Cola in Hyderabad. Let's say in India, there is only one Coca-Cola plant in Delhi. Then how will it come from Delhi to Hyderabad? I cannot go up to Delhi every week. Otherwise, my business will get affected. I have to maintain my shop in Hyderabad. At the same time, the manufacturer Coca-Cola in Delhi cannot come to Hyderabad and all the cities where Coca-Cola is being sold. So someone should act as mediator. That mediators are wholesaler. So wholesaler buys from the producer and sells at wholesale. That means in very much bulk. When someone says wholesale, it means in bulk quantities. So there are three levels. One is producer at the factory, wholesaler in the intermediate stage, and there is seller in the last stage who sells to the consumer. So two ways you can measure inflation. One is the way wholesaler sells to the retail seller. This is the wholesale rate. Another rate is retail seller sells to the consumer. This is consumer rate. So the rate at which wholesaler sells to the retail seller is called wholesale prices, and the prices which are used for transaction between retail seller and consumer are called consumer prices. So two ways you can measure inflation. Based on where you measure the prices, it is called wholesale prices or consumer prices. So Office of Economic Advisor under Ministry of Commerce measures the wholesale price index in India, and National Statistics Office, NSO. Okay, CSO is measured in NSO. National Statistics Office under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. This is a ministry, and under this ministry there is an office called National Statistics Office. This NSO measures CPI across the country. So these two use it for various purposes. It is just a reference for many people. For example, RBI uses this CPI, Consumer Price Index, for various purposes to understand how much money it should enter into the economy. Because if there is too much money, it will lead to further inflation. So how much money there should be in economy? Shall I print more money or not? RBI takes a decision on the depending on this CPI value. So that is one application of this part. Okay. In wholesale price index, only goods are involved, not services. See, goods means anything you sell physically. What is service? Movie industry is a service. Software selling is a service. This urban company hair cutting is a service. Nobody is transacting any good. You are providing a service only. So consumer price index, because consumers take both goods and services, consumer price index contain both goods and services. Wholesale price contains only goods only. This is the first stage of the transaction. This is the final stage of the transaction. Manufacturer and wholesale consumer. Okay. As I said, this is only goods. This is goods and services both. Here there will be more weightage. So see, there will, what is weightage? What products do you count when you calculating the wholesale price index? Okay, you said wholesale price index measures the price, but what are the items you are using for price? Okay, this uses manufacturing items like cars, bikes, fertilizers. Okay, so whatever the items you manufacture, this includes that. This does not include, very rarely it includes like vegetables, fruits, etc. It includes those items, but to a very less extent. This gives more weightage to the manufactured factory output. But in turn, this consumer price index gives those items an extra value, which directly useful to the consumer, because it is consumer price index. Like vegetables, agricultural items, food items, fuel, and services. As I said, this measures services extra, education, communication. So how much education is costing these days, that is included in the consumer price index. Transportation. So you just Google if you want to know more. This will be useful in mains. The more you Google, the more you know for the mains. So there are some differences in weightage between wholesale price index and consumer price index. Okay. Base year. On which base year you are saying prices increase, but you need some base year to say that prices increase or decreases. So this is called base year. So when this month rates, let's say this month a car is 4 lakhs. So how you say price increased or not? Usually people in common parlance use previous year of reference, but scientifically when we measure this, we use some particular year. We take rates of 2011-12 for CPI, sorry, WPI, a financial year for WPI, 2011-12. So let's say in 2011-12, a car was 3 lakhs, and this financial year 2023-24, car was 4 lakhs. So there is a net inflation in this financial year. So WPA has increased. So there will be a base year for every indices. Similarly for CPI, the base year is 2012. Here it is not financial year, it is a normal calendar year. Okay, 2012. CPI is most widely used across the world because it directly impacts the customer. So that is what CPI versus WPA. I hope you have understood. Just Google about it. I have given you more than necessary for prelims. If you want to know more, you need to know more only about the mains. For mains purpose, we are making separate video on editorials every day. Please do watch that video. It is being uploaded separately. This is exclusively related to the prelims. So Ecuador was in news for some reason. That news is not important. That news is not at all important. Ecuador got a new president, but I took this opportunity to have this geographical discussion about Ecuador. So if in a question, if in a UPSC prelims question comes on physical geography of the world, you can answer it. So here is the country of Ecuador in South America. So understand, this is the continent of South America. Here is the country of Ecuador. So it touches the East Pacific Ocean. So this is Pacific Ocean, East Pacific Ocean. Ecuador touches the East Pacific Ocean, and its neighboring countries are, one is Peru, this is Colombia. So it is touching only two countries, one is Peru and one Colombia. It is in South America. Okay. So that is the physical geography of Ecuador. So this is the last article about surrogacy. So this news is not so important. Here during one discussion, High Court has asked that India has two laws to regulate the surrogacy and this reproduction technologies. Okay, so some people have trouble regarding have fertility issues. Okay, some couples have fertility issues and they cannot have child on their own, so they want some assistance in getting their children. One of the methods is surrogacy, and another one is getting help through a fertility clinic or fertility doctor, this test tube baby, etc. So those are assistive reproductive technologies. So India has brought two acts. One is Assistive Reproductive Technology Act 2021 and Surrogacy Act. Surrogacy Act 2021. These are two acts brought by India to regulate the aspect of assistive reproductive technologies. Just High Court, as a part of some discussion, is asking why this Surrogacy Act discriminate against single women, because in that Surrogacy Act there is a differentiation between married women and single women. So these lawmakers are still old-minded. So they think it is only the right of a married woman to have a child. So unmarried woman does not have the right to have a child through surrogacy, etc. Some laws are discriminatory. High Court has just questioned it. It did not issue any significant judgment. So this news article is not relevant. Just know that point, that some provisions of Surrogacy Act are discriminatory towards the unmarried woman. That's it. Just I have given a sample MCQ on surrogacy. Just see. Consider the following statements regarding Surrogacy Act 2021. Under this act, intending woman, that means woman who wants to get the baby. Intending woman is a widow or divorcee between age of 25 to 55 years. Statements given above are not correct. Not correct. This statement is not correct, because if she is 25 years of age, she can still have that baby. Okay, higher chances of having that baby. Usually, women who are above 35 years say that they will have some problems in having babies. So it is 35 to 40 years, 35 to 45 years. So intending woman as per this act means 35 to 45 years. Next, only Indians are allowed for surrogacy. Yes, this is true. This statement is correct. So only one is not correct. 3 is there is a ban on commercial surrogacy in India. Yes, this act has banned commercial surrogacy. It only allows something called altruistic surrogacy. Altruistic surrogacy. What is commercial surrogacy and what is altruistic surrogacy? Commercial surrogacy is something when someone is ready to bear someone else's baby, someone else's egg, fertilized egg, for the purpose of money. Okay, they do not have any relation with them. They don't want to do any benefit to them. They just want to earn some money. That is commercial surrogacy. What is altruistic surrogacy? In this case, woman does only for the happiness of those people. She needs to be genetically related to the intending woman and her husband. At least one of the intending woman and the husband, she needs to be a family member of the couple. Simply put, she needs to be a family member of that couple, and she does not do it for a monetary purpose. She just wants, because those couple are having trouble to get a baby, so she just wants to help them out of good heart. So only this article allows only altruistic surrogacy. This act strictly prohibits commercial surrogacy. So that is it. So that is it, everyone, for today. Please keep following us. This is only for a prelims news article. There is a separate video already uploaded regarding editorials. Please do watch it. Please keep following us every day. Thank you.